I graduated university 2 years ago and have been traveling the world full-time ever since. And 2 years is a really long time. We came home once after the first year and then we left again. And I feel like during that second time of leaving home indefinitely, a lot of the worldview I was building in the background became solidified. We traveled across 3 continents for 331 days the first time we left. 4 if you count coming back home to North America. And because we were gone for so long and moving so slowly, I feel like we got this really authentic experience and many opportunities for growth, opportunities to see myself and my relationship in situations I never thought they'd be in before. And we saw the world and some really amazing, beautiful people in it. And we got to see our family all over the world. And the thing is, life truly comes from you. And that's the note I want to start the video on. In a world where there is so much noise and so much distraction, sit with yourself and know yourself, and sit with others and know them too. I learned so much from the world, but I learned so much from myself experiencing the world as well. And that's really not easy to hear or recognize when you're not paying attention or you're purposely distracting yourself. Life is beautiful and multifaceted, so let life come from you. I was going to make one big video, but I decided to make a series instead. So this is what it's like to travel the world and some things I learned along the way. I have lots more to share with you, so subscribe. 3 years ago, I picked up the camera to vlog with the intention of sharing it online for the first time while my boyfriend and I backpacked through Europe for 4 months. Okay guys, we are in the car driving to the airport. Kirsten doesn't want me to vlog in public, but I want to vlog in public. Kirsten and I just went to our first Dutch grocery store and we got these cool drinks. We finally made it onto our ferry. This is like the entirety of the room. Kirsten and I are in Split now and it's super pretty. I already want to live here and I will live here one day.
It's really, really high up.
This is my first bite of currywurst. Running now because we have to get to our boat tour in 5 minutes, and it's like slightly past the Charles Bridge, and the Charles Bridge is up here, we can see it. We are in Cardiff. Very excited, we're gonna go meet up with Kirsten's uncle. Last hour before we land in Canada, we're flying over Cold Lake right now. When we came home from Europe, I still had a year and a half of school to do. And for that year and a half, we both studied and worked and saved and planned because we had a goal to leave Canada and travel indefinitely. The time after finishing our undergrads was the first time in our lives we had complete freedom to decide what we wanted to do next. It was the first time that the path was undefined. We both went right to university after high school without any breaks or gap years, but when we graduated, it felt like now our decisions started to matter. Now everything we decided was a reflection of how effective our education was, how hard we worked, how easily we could get a job, how well adjusted we were. And all roads led to travel. Carson and I are taking the new WestJet flight directly from Calgary to Tokyo. I think we booked the flight before it even got government approval. Like it was pending. So we're like one of the first people to take this flight. We're super excited.
We're about to head into Tokyo, which is the biggest city in the whole world.
Tokyo actually has more people in the city than Canada has as a country altogether. So it's by far the biggest place we'll ever go and have ever been. That subway system was the most impressive thing I've seen in my entire life.
The best subway system in the world.
It was so huge.
This is a whole different world out here.
Like a coloring book, the world comes into color when you see it for yourself. For example, I can loosely picture what Brazil looks like, but I've never been there. I can't smell it or taste it or picture what the people look like or the streets or the transit. On the other hand, I can feel Vietnam. I know Vietnam. I can picture the rattling of the train or the sticky plastic of the seats on a night bus. I can smell the pho. I can feel the motorcycles driving past as you're ordering a banh mi on the street. I know what the people are like. I know what it feels like to be in Vietnam. And that's a really cool part of traveling, is getting to know what things feel like. Like you can feel the town that you grew up in. But if you picture another city in the country that you're from that you haven't been to, you don't know what it feels like, but you have an idea. And that's exactly what the world felt like to us before we left.
So we're in a Shinto shrine now. Watts here in Chiang Mai, Buddhist temples.
We are at the mosque now. We just finished inside of the Vatican Museum's Angkor Wat, the Jakarta Cathedral, Hindu shrines. This is the 3rd biggest mosque in the world. Hagia Sophia, it is one of the most important monuments here in Turkey. When I picture it that way, I understand why we were both so passionate about this year of traveling. It was never about running away or time freedom or the beach or the heat. It was about understanding. I wanted to know everything. My year started in Greece for 3 weeks to celebrate graduation with one of my closest friends. Then back to Calgary for the ceremony, and 2 short weeks later, we were back in the Calgary airport, boarding our flight to Japan. We finally made it into Super Nintendo World. It's our first time on a bullet train, so we're super excited. The subway station is also a shelter in case of a nuclear attack. We are now in the red light district called Nana Plaza. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record. This is how we're sitting.
No. I guess better than no talk.
I love this beach. Big window.
We're in Miniman.
We're taking the narrow gauge train. It's this really cool train line that winds its way through the Bulgarian mountains, walking towards the famous bath here in Budapest. And now we're waiting in line to get on our hop on, hop off. I'm so excited about this. I've been talking about it for so long.
Take some good videos, this is beautiful.
Kristen gets like so insufferable in Rome. It's like he thinks he's a philosopher.
He's not the philosopher. Not yet. Take. Look at this beautiful view. If only someone would capture it for our many viewers.
We are taking our first budget airline of our Asia trip. So this is the first time we're gonna have our bags sized and weighed for carry-on size. It worked! They didn't even weigh them at all. They didn't weigh our bags. They didn't weigh our bags. We haven't gotten our bags weighed this entire time. I don't think they're gonna weigh our bags. What I'm saying is that there's just simply not enough people to weigh the bags. And they weighed our bags for the first time. So the stress of that situation and the fact that I was like, I'm gonna throw up, like we've been in this dog for like, and Kristen was like, the guy just said they might weigh them at the gate and then let them leave. The beds were so uncomfortable, you could feel all the springs, and all we had was this lumpy yellow pillow and this like throw blanket. That was the entire bed, and it's all like pilling and disgusting, and the bathroom is terrible. I don't even want to show you. There's a huge clump of hair right in the center of the shower when we got in. Like I woke up at 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep, and I was looking up other hotels in the area on our first night. Like I just couldn't do it. But I want to show you what we booked because we kind of got catfished. This is what we booked. Does that look like this? No.
So here's our room. It's actually a lot nicer than we thought because it's like a small village in the rainforest. So we're expecting, we lowered our expectations, and honestly it's not bad. Here's Hannah.
The room is very nice. There's no air conditioning, but that's okay because we have a fan and a mosquito net.
So it's actually much better than anticipated. And look at this, is pretty funny too. In the bathroom, they clearly installed a Western toilet on top of a squat toilet. Check it out. So honestly, cannot complain. It wasn't too expensive, and it gets the job done.
We're in this insane villa right now. This is our private pool. This is my beanbag that I lounge on, and back behind you is Carson and I's room. We generally loved everywhere we went, but we had 5 standout places: Japan, Poland, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Especially the food in Malaysia. We got our roti canai. Roti canai.
Roti canai.
Roti canai.
Roti canai. We love Malaysian food.
Typically, we're quite positive people. Cute area. Stop! Everything is skewed positively for us. And we absolutely loved almost everything. But there's one thing I would say if you're going traveling or just as you go about yourself. Okay, ready? It's not controversial at all. Go in with no expectations. Because if you go in with expectations, you will be disappointed. Everyone says that. I'm not the first to say it. And you have to recognize that your expectations are completely rooted in your worldview, right? They're entirely internal. And when you go out into the world, don't let the inevitability that things will not be as you expected it to be completely ruin your experience and change your perception of it. Because you will be shortchanging yourself the opportunity to experience it in its entirety instead of shrouded by whatever picture your brain is trying to paint it as. Experience it first, understand it second. And appreciate it for what it is. The hawker centers were crazy, sometimes people were rude, we were hot and wet, sometimes people tried to scam us.
We met the nicest man.
That's what we could have remembered. And all of that is rooted in comparison. And comparison is the thief of joy. You know, you go out into the world to appreciate and experience and see, whether that's hundreds of kilometers away or just down the street. Don't go out into the world and expect it to be perfect and expect it to be similar to what you have at home. Like, where is the excitement in that? Where is the growth in that? Go out and be amazed, be this beacon of light and wonder, and let the world happen. Life comes from you, but it's also happening all around you. So be excited about things. Be like Carson.
Some of the best food in my whole life. Oh my god, one of the best chickens ever. It's like the best rice I've ever had. Oh god, that's good. That was the best curry I've ever had. One of my favorite meals. Probably the sweetest drink I've had in my entire life. And this is like the best market ever. The best museum I have ever gone to in my entire life. Some of the best drinks I've had all trip. And this is probably the best rice dish I've had all trip. I don't say this lightly, but probably the best meal we've had in Italy so far.
Everything seemed perfect, but it still felt like the grass wasn't green enough. I think that's something we all realize, but for some reason as humans, we all keep falling victim to this idealistic trap. Maybe that's because we're programmed for survival and the ease that comes with mundanity goes against our nature to always be looking for something bigger, better, safer. And once that stopped being food and shelter, it started being a better partner, a better job, a better friendship, a better lifestyle. And with every piece of humility I can muster, I think I lived pretty close to what people consider the ideal life. And the grass still isn't green enough. That's not to say I'm like particularly unhappy. It's just, I am not immune to constantly looking for something better. It's so easy to completely lose perspective, completely lose sight of everything that you worked for, everything that you have right now in the hopes and the want of something better. Especially when you feel like your life is difficult, it's really, really hard to maintain perspective on how lucky you are. We got really frustrated having to book hotels and book trains and figure out where we were going to eat and be constantly in these new places that we were relearning the customs for. And when you're in it, you can say, I'm so frustrated, I'm overwhelmed, I wish we didn't have to figure out where we were going to sleep every night. But with a little bit of perspective, you can say, it's so exciting that we get to go to all of these new places, that we get to sleep in hotels, that we don't need to clean our room because we're sleeping in hotels. But you lose that perspective so quickly, and it's fascinating because it happened to us. And like I said, we were on a beach in Thailand and we still weren't entirely happy. I don't really have anything else to offer other than an observation, and maybe people find comfort in the fact that I was traveling for 2 years with no job, eating out at restaurants every night, staying in hotels and seeing all these cool places in the world, and I was still unhappy. There were a lot of reasons why we needed to come home. It's 5:10 a.m. in Calgary right now, which means that my dad is waking up about to have his heart surgery. We'll be in Krakow, but this is what we're doing now that you're watching this back.
Sitting on a train entering Poland, that's pretty beautiful for Dan. That's exactly what he would want us to do.
Coming home was hard. In a lot of ways, it felt like a failure. It felt weird trying to fit back into our old lives, move home with our families again, especially because we were stuck in this limbo of impermanence. We didn't get an apartment or a job because the first time we came home, we weren't sure of how long we were going to be here for. We were around the people we used to be around, but we felt different, and Calgary felt different. After a while, it didn't feel different anymore, and I think that that was almost the most painful part. The in-between stage of discomfort and comfort, when we still felt different, but we felt ourselves getting used to it again and being sucked back into the life we had before. It felt like something was off, but it was starting to become natural and routine and mundane. And it kind of felt like everything was slipping away. Like everything we had just done didn't actually happen. Like it didn't even matter. I had two main goals for this year. Reach 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and publish my novel. Neither of which I did. And that's okay.
2002, Hannah's 2.5 years old, and she's going on skis. What'd you think of that? Was that fun?
We used to ski a lot growing up. My parents would always say to trust them and they wouldn't take us on a run they didn't think we could do. I remember being this teeny tiny marshmallow looking child on my skis in the middle of these huge runs, huge piles of snow and trees, and I remember being scared a lot. Excited, but scared. I have such clear memories of my dad saying to us on the slopes after a particularly hard run to turn around and look at what we did. Look at how steep it was. Look at how brave you were. That's what we all need to start doing more of. It's easy to face forward and be focused on the end, but what we need to do more of is turning around and looking at what we did. I didn't hit 10,000 subscribers. I didn't post consistently every week, no matter how hard I tried to, but I did triple the size of my channel from the start of the year. I did get to connect with a ton of lovely people from all over the world because of it though. And I didn't publish my novel, but I did finish it. I did go through 4 drafts and I made something I am so incredibly proud of. I always try to reach high with my goals, as I think we all do, but I think with that, we really need to remember to celebrate the small wins along the way. Because it's just as important to celebrate how far you've come as it is to celebrate accomplishing the goals themselves. I have this one favorite J. Cole lyric, and it goes, "The good news is you came a long way. The bad news is you went the wrong way." I think you'll always go the wrong way if you're not paying attention to the path and grateful as you walk it. Speaking of the path, everyone always says it isn't linear. Progress isn't linear. But what I've come to realize is that not only is progress a path that twists and winds, it's also almost entirely overgrown, overcrowded, and obstructed. Even people with a clear passion or vision or goal see progress less like a clear path and more like a light somewhere in the distance that's beckoning you in its general direction. And as critical as gratitude is, as seeing your place on the path and being proud of yourself and grateful for how far you've come, progress is sometimes hard to see when you're standing on the path. Like me right now, completely surrounded by trees. It's something I always try to remind myself. You're not on the starting block, you're somewhere in the mess. Whether it's left or right or forward, if you're aware enough to be critical of your supposed lack of progress, then you are inherently on the path, in the process of progress. But when it's mentally and sometimes physically difficult to see the start and the convoluted path to the end, coupled with the weird ways that our brains process time and our intense bias towards only viewing the present and the future as what matters, it's sometimes hard to see your progress. It's hard to remember you're not on the starting block anymore. You're on the path, so enjoy the path. And remember that we're constantly changing, we're constantly growing, and nothing is ever static. Have you ever had an ice bath? Last summer, Kirsten decided to start, so I did too. It's good because it's really hot here. We're in a heat wave right now, but it's not good in the sense that it's really cold and I don't want to do it. During Stampede Week, which is like a 10-day long bender that paints our usually tranquil and hyper-productive city in carnival colors, cowboy boots, and maple syrup.
Oh, and I'm so scared. There's still snow floating in it.
So after nights of partying every day for 10 days, I would wake up and get into a cold plastic tub on Carson's deck.
It's cold. I feel like I can't breathe.
Take deep breaths.
And I had such a hard time doing these ice baths, especially because Carson has this like screeching, grating confidence about himself, and he is like so dedicated to everything he does that I like physically could not move my feet to get into the tub. I thought I would just have to like lifelessly flop my upper body into this like blown up tub of ice on Carson's deck. And yet somehow each time I did. And I sat in the water and I accepted all of Carson's very well-intentioned instructions to get lower and to get my shoulders under, and it's really good for your neck. And it was so cold, and all I could think about was how cold it was and how painful it was, until it wasn't anymore. And I wasn't even that scared anymore. But I did it, and I feel better. Carson's right. I hate when Carson's right. The point of the story is that I learned a lot from those ice baths. As humans, we are so capable of adapting that we don't even notice when we're doing it. We got used to our life in Asia, accustomed to the customs. We settled back into our lives in Calgary. We got used to the views we were getting, and we were disappointed with anything less. What was once a goal now became mundane. Just like the longer you sit, the less cold it becomes. Your body starts to heat the water around you, and it's only when you move again that you start to feel the cold. And it strikes your skin and it shrinks your lungs, and you remember fondly by comparison a time that you didn't feel like this, and you're too busy debating and justifying and resisting that you don't realize that all of a sudden it doesn't feel cold anymore. Change is good. It reminds you that discomfort is okay. It stops you from becoming complacent, and it reminds you that you're capable. In those transition periods from comfort to discomfort, you're given this moment of clarity that's filled with gratitude, where you remember the comfort of where you came from and appreciate the change and growth that's ahead. You just need to stop and look around. Perspective is a key theme in this video, if you're noticing. I know it's a hard one. I'm still working on it too, but it's very important. And the thing about traveling is it really puts you in situations that test your ability to be positive, navigate chaos, and have perspective. We're on the bus now, going to teach some kids.
And the guy just like barely even stopped the bus. He's like, oh no, 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 no. And like did a rolling stop as we just hopped on. He went, okay.
We're having a bit of a panic. A lot has gone wrong. First of all, I lost the mic cover on the bus, which was a huge problem at the time. Turns out it's the least of our issues right now. It seems we got a little catfished. All the reviews on Workaway were talking about this girl, Emily, who runs the volunteering, and she's done all this world traveling, and she wants to help teach these community kids English. Turns out Emily doesn't work here anymore. Came, we got to hang out with the kids. It was really, really great. We taught our first English class. It was really good. We ate dinner with the family. It's kind of weird, but you know how things are kind of weird when you first get here? No one seemed to be communicating with us about what the expectations were. So we helped clean up. Turns out the area that we were cleaning up was where we were staying, which is just this one room, which is fine, no AC, we weren't expecting AC. These huge windows for the doors, which is a nice touch, except for the fact that the bed is right there. The bed is just 2 mats and a mosquito net. The place is super, super dirty, like ridiculously dirty. It's like they didn't know we were coming. The other thing is there aren't clean pillows, blankets, or sheets. And she said, bring me the blankets in the morning and I'll wash them for you. I was looking through the pile of blankets right there, and there's just like a random bra that fell out of them. So I don't know how long that pile's been there. And also, so then we were like, you know what, let's just put one of the sheets on and we'll wash it in the morning, whatever. It's hot, we probably won't sleep with a blanket anyways. Move the mat away from the wall. There's a huge spider and also just a bunch of like rat poo right by the head of the bed. There isn't a shower there, and we're here for a week. There's just the regular like squat toilet, which is what we were expecting, but it's in an outhouse kind of situation, which also is what we were expecting. It's just everything all at once. 9:30. There aren't any hotels on booking.com in the area, but the map's saying that there are hotels, which means that if we want to go check them out, we have to commit to walking 30 minutes to get there, or taking a Grab. Like, we can't book and see the availability now. It's getting late. We're literally escaping away in the rain into the night. I feel so terrible, 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 terrible. Here we are at a motel. We've been walking in the rain for an hour. Rain's finally letting up. We feel like fugitives running, escaping in the night in the rain.
This is an undescribable situation. Like,
You often come to a crossroads. You can complain that the bus system is disorganized, or the rigid customs annoying, or the traffic mismanaged, or you can appreciate the world for what it is, in all of its chaos, and appreciate the chaos as part of the world, as something worth being appreciated. You're not going to think your way through life, so find peace in making decisions with the information that you have right now. Surrender some of your control and accept that a right decision may have the wrong outcome. You never have to have everything figured out, so stop extrapolating out into the future and trying to control everything. You're going to burn yourself out. Oh my god, there's a deer. They came running right at me. Hello, deer. Please do not attack me. Ah, there's 2 deers! And don't believe people when they try to tell you that they have everything figured out, and they try to sell you that they have this like perfect life, this ultimate life where they found present and future happiness. It doesn't exist. All we have is right now. So don't go stressing yourself out in your right now, trying to predict what's going to make you happy in the future. Hi, babe! Hi! Did you go for a swim? Your little paws are wet. Oh, thanks, Bean Bean. Oh, thank you. All we have is power over our minds. We can't control outside events, and all of our suffering arises from resisting what is. So go out into the world and observe without attaching value. There's one of my favorite quotes in the entire world that basically sums this up. It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them. 2 months into our trip, we met some strangers on a bus in southern Vietnam who invited us back to their home for a huge party with their entire family.
Singing Mamma Mia at a Vietnamese party in the south.
The most white people thing to do.
There's something broken hearted.
Hospitality. Thank you, thank you.
Everybody all over the world is living a beautiful, full life, full of family and friends and love and ambition, and trying to make the best of and do the most with what they have. Our differences are really so small. Everyone everywhere is doing essentially the exact same thing you're doing. If you welcome good into your life, if you're vulnerable and kind and warm, people will be kind to you back. You can choose to believe everything is genuine. You can choose to believe people are trying their best. You can choose to believe they're not being malicious, because caution is necessary, but cynicism is a choice. Meeting people was one of the best things that happened to us this entire trip, and they're some of our favorite memories and our favorite stories that we choose to tell over and over again, which is why I think it's so important to welcome the world with open arms despite the fact that you may be hurt. We needed a break.
Today is my worst day ever in my life because I have food poisoning and we have to go on a plane. And I don't like either of those.
It was quite a rough morning for little Hannah.
We made it through check-in, which was a huge long line, and now we're here. And I'm just laying down. Person got me a twister, which cost $2 US, 50,000. Usually we pay like 15 or 20, so he really balled out for me. I feel better than I did this morning, but like hot, cold, fever. This morning was the first time the entire trip that I woke up and I said I want to go home. I am so tired, I do not feel well, and I just want to go home. We've been traveling for 4 months now, and it's a lot. I got food poisoning right before our flight to Chiang Mai, so I spent the entire day trying not to throw up on the flight. We could not afford to not get on it. I do not feel good. Don't want to take this bus into Laos. I look terrible. I feel not good. I want to go home. I miss home and my family. Really? Do you want to talk about the boat?
Barely more than a dollar.
So Kristen took the GoPro to hike to the top of that waterfall. There's some steps and a steep path. I can't breathe, like, at all. So I wasn't able. I tried and I couldn't go up. I'm kind of sad that I don't get to go. Hello. You may be thinking, this doesn't look like Laos. And that's because it's not.
It's Bangkok.
We flew this morning from Vientiane to Bangkok to go to the hospital. And I just got back from the hospital and I have bronchitis. Went to the clinic, saw the doctor. prescribed me antibiotics, took the antibiotics, and now we're walking to the food court. We've lived in Plovdiv for a month now. We just wanted to feel a little bit of normalcy in the middle of our trip. We finally had 2 separate rooms too. At that point, it had been 8 months of living in hotel rooms. And it really felt like we were going back to what our lives had been. Humans are very capable of adaptation, and we had really effectively adapted to our new lifestyle, to traveling, to taking buses, to living in hotels, to eating out all of the time. It felt like coming to this apartment was like coming home. It was coming back to something that we were familiar with. Balance is something that's really hard to learn in your 20s. And like, I think especially for me, it's really hard for me to learn because I enthusiastically throw myself into everything that I do. Like, if I want to sew, I'll sit there and I'll sew for hours. If I want to paint, I'll paint all day and I won't focus on anything else. I'll leave everything behind and travel, and I'll reject everything else because traveling is my only passion now. I throw myself into everything so enthusiastically, and because all of these things seem like good things and productive things, and I want them so much, and they seem like they'll be good for my character building, it's hard to remind yourself to have balance. It's hard to remind yourself that that is unhealthy even though it feels healthy. What I've learned is that life is balance, and balance is not restrictive. You have this like sense of invincibility in your 20s and this huge fear of commitment because you just want to experience everything. And I think we forget that we're just at the start of our lives. I wanted to do everything and see everything, and what I've realized is that there are pieces of this everything in everything. Everything that you do has little bits and pieces of everything in it. It's just the degrees of everything that vary. Your friendships are stronger at home, you're healthier, you're more connected to family, but maybe you grow more when you're away from your comforts of home. It's more exciting to be traveling. But these things, friendship, excitement, growth, health, family, can exist in everything. You just need to find how to balance the varying degrees of each at whatever stage of life you're living in. Finding balance is a skill I don't quite have yet, and so I can't provide any more insight on it than this. Maybe one day I'll figure it out. But I think that that is just part of being in your 20s, is this craving everything all at once while also feeling like you don't belong anywhere. And I think what travel taught me is that the world is really big and there's so much in it to see. But coming home taught me that what you need is actually quite small. And I don't know, I kind of find comfort in that. The last piece that I'll leave you with, the most important truths that I've taken away through my 2 years of gathering information. Growth only happens with change. It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them. Sometimes the softest thing is the strongest. Travel made this easy. It's easy to find the wisdom. It's much harder to be wise. I'm still working on it, but I'll see you in the next video. Ah! I crushed a dead fly.